Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, and I'm out on another walk. And this time I want to identify trees. I've been fascinated by trees for, well, the last few months actually. I'm aware that when I go out for my walks, I'm pretty ignorant when it comes to tree identification. I'd love to be able to go and say, hey, that tree is a so-and-so and that's a such and such. So this year I've decided I'm going to learn to identify trees. Now the only way that I can put my money where my mouth is so to speak, is of course to make some videos. So today I've gone for an urban tree, one that is 50% of the tree population in London, believe it or not. I'm talking about the London Plane. I'm in Stein Gardens in Worthing, down on the south coast in West Sussex, not in London. These trees, the London Plane, of which one is just coming up to me, in front of me, are ubiquitous now in towns and cities. And this London Plane here is a terrific example of such a specimen. Look at this beautiful bark here. You can see the mottled shape of the bark and the different coloration. You see what's happening here. If we get a little bit of a close-up, this bark is falling off. And that's not because it's distressed or ill or anything. That is actually a natural process that I've started to learn. Yes, this sort of khaki look is important for the tree because it's shedding bits of the bark so that it can clean itself and breathe, which is why this tree, the London Plane, is perfect for an urban environment, and often, as you can see here, is beside a road where of course there are pollutants. Well, this London Plane was discovered in the 1660s, I think probably just before the Great Fire of London. And that may be significant why there's so many in London. But with the smog and all the pollutants, it's a great tree. Here's another example here, look. All this incredible mottling effect. Now, I'm going to have a look round Worthing to see if I can find a few more. Let's go back this way, Annette, so that we can see more of it. Of course, I'm actually, I'm actually filming in the winter. Here is an example of its fruit. This is what you find dangling from the branches at the top of the London Plane. Now, of course, from a distance, where is it? There it is, a nice tall slender tree. It's not terribly interesting. Obviously, when it's got its canopy of broad leaves, it's a lot more exciting. But why do I say it's discovered from the 1660s? Well, you see, it's a hybrid. It's a hybrid of two trees. Now, this is where it gets a little bit technical, so bear with me. You've got one tree, which is the Oriental Plane that comes from southeast Europe, as far as Iran, in fact, and the Latin name, now I've got to get this right, is Platanus Orientalis, and so that's one half of it. In fact, that tree was first mentioned in a bloke called William Turner's book in 1548, Name of Herbs. He wrote this book, Name of Herbs, in which it is mentioned in the Tudor period. He was I suppose a naturalist who was trying to list all the different relevant trees. So that was that. The other tree that it's a cross between, if you like, is one from America, on the east side of America, and that is the American sycamore or Western Plane. Now, that Latin name is Platanus Orientalis. I may have got the pronunciations wrong, but that's more or less right. I've taken a little extra stroll now into Worthing town centre here, right in front of where the old town hall used to be. It used to stand right here. We've got the Gimbal Centre instead, and to my south, facing the sun, is the sea in South Street. But here, by this post box, is another London Plane tree. Here we go. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful tree. and above, on the very top, we get a spectacular array of those fruit. Unfortunately, they're just too high for me to reach down and grab. But how did the hybrid come about? Because it's these two trees that are spanned quite far apart. Well, as it happened, there was a chap called John Tradescant. He was a botanist, he was a gardener, and he used to travel about in the 1660s and bring back specimens from different countries. Here's another London plane, looking absolutely resplendent, right in the city centre. And it seems that he brought back both the American sycamore and the Oriental Plane. And they seem to have sat in his garden for some time. And then I guess that nature probably did its thing. It had a little bit of shenanigans one evening, and before you know it, there was the London plane growing splendidly. I've moved away from the town main centre, although I'm still close to the town centre. Actually, I'm in Alexandra Terrace, just north of Montague Place in Worthing. And the reason I've come here because I have spotted yet another London plane. And here it is on my left. This is a wily old one. Can't see much of the fruit hanging up on the top, unfortunately, but we can see all the wonderful mottled shape of the bark that's falling off, which is typical of the tree. Now, I said earlier it had I thought there was some connection to the Great Fire of London, and do you know what my theory is? And this is, I haven't read this or researched this or anything, but I think the tree, because it was discovered in the 1660s, then early 1660s, then you had the Great Fire of London, which swept out. There was a lot of replanning going on, and they needed a tree that they could get up that was going to last through all that pollution that was going on with all the coal fires and everything. And of course, the great thing about the London plane is it doesn't mind restricted root space. So you could shove it in the ground, you could plant them as small shrubs, and then they would grow. So that's my theory anyway. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that, and if you'd like me to do some more trees, I would love to do some. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and from this magnificent London plane here in Worthing and all the others, go and spot them and see if you can find them yourself, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now. That's not London plane. I don't know what it is.